Hello, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is with you. I'm particularly motivated to talk about this elitist prick, Bill Maher. There's a clip going around Twitter right now. Let's talk about it. So Bill Maher had on this Democratic strategist. His name is Paul Begala. He's another multi-millionaire, along with Bill Maher.
A lot of people are saying this is a loser issue. I'll give you some brief numbers here. Why that is, 13% of Americans have college debt, federal college debt. So that's not a lot of people you're working to. 65% don't go to college at all.
So he says a lot of people are saying this is a loser issue, and then he gives some numbers, and he explains the amount of people that would be impacted if Biden were to forgive student debt. He's not giving numbers on how popular student debt forgiveness is. He's just giving numbers on how many people it would impact. And there's a reason that he isn't doing that, because if he were to look at polls, he would find out that his position is incredibly unpopular. Here we have an article from Forbes showing that student loan forgiveness polls at 64%. That's, for those calculating at home, a majority of the American people. And I also want to touch on that 65% number of people that don't go to college at all. That doesn't mean 65% of the country doesn't want to go to college or doesn't want to go to trade school. If we made it easier, maybe even free in this country, to get a higher education, more people might do it.
50% of the college debt goes to people going to grad school, which, come on, a lot of that is just bullshitting around. You don't know what to do, and you can keep going to school for free.
Okay, yeah, no, this is one of the stupidest things he says in this clip. Well, I want to touch on the fact that if you went to grad school and you have student debt, you, by definition, did not go for free. And second of all, hot take, higher education is good, actually. I'm glad there are people who have grad degrees, you know? I think that it's dumb. I think it's bad to have an anti-education platform as a party. I think that's a bad idea. Because I want people to know things. I want more people to be more educated than me. I want governments to be able to go to academics and say, hey, what's the solution to some problems our country might have? And yes, that includes sociological problems, which includes gender studies.
So it just looks like a loser issue for the party that is trying to win back the working class, that we're going to subsidize. We who didn't go to college and didn't benefit from that are going to subsidize you to get your degree in gender studies and sports marketing and all the other bullshit that they take in college.
Also, not how it works, and we shouldn't be pitting different parts of the working class against each other. It's also just not true that the moment that Biden gets rid of student debt, that all of a sudden everyone's taxes are going to go up and you're going to be subsidizing people's education. That's actually not true, because we've been pausing student loan repayments for like 2 years and some change at this point, and the government hasn't exploded and hasn't gone bankrupt.
I think it's a loser issue for Biden. What do you think?
Yeah, well, and this is revealing a big secret, so don't tell anybody. We Democrats have a lab, 2 labs actually, secret labs, one in Berkeley and one in Brooklyn, where we come up with ideas to completely piss off the working class, and it's working wonderfully.
It's comical. It is comical that this person has any idea what the working class wants. I'm sure this guy is out there on the front lines with Starbucks and Amazon unions, and they're saying, hey, you know, top priority for the Democrats is going to be advocating for these workers. Yes, no, this guy's a working class guy. Absolutely not, because a lot of workers do have student debt. That is a thing.
Somehow, in my lifetime, the Democrats have gone from being the party of the factory floor to being the party of faculty lounge. I went last week. I spent Wednesday last week in Chicago with the Machinists Union. Hung out with the machinists all day. Great guys. Not one of them came up to me and said, gee, I really hope you take my tax dollars to pay off the debt of somebody who went to Stanford.
But you know what that union worker might say? They might say that, hey, I'm really worried about my child going to college and being racked with student debt. Or I'm trying to save up enough to send my kids to college so that they don't have to get so much debt, but it's too prohibitively expensive. And currently, the Democrats have no solution to fixing that problem of the college being too prohibitively expensive.
Okay, so Biden's under enormous pressure. He's not for it. He didn't campaign for it. He says he'll relieve maybe $10,000, which I suppose is good. But what I'd much rather see Democrats do is go back to their roots, which is earn it. We're the party that created the GI Bill. Nobody called that free college because it wasn't. The guys that got the GI Bill earned it. Why don't we have a system where we say, you want to get out of your college debt? Serve your country. Marine Corps, Peace Corps, AmeriCorps. Not everybody can carry a rifle, but you can mentor a kid.
So I don't think it's terribly offensive what this guy is saying, that like, hey, you need to join the Peace Corps or whatever to get free college. But I don't agree with it. There are plenty of countries all around the world that give their citizenry free college for free because they're a citizen there. But I just generally have a problem with this Republican way of thinking, that we're going to put barriers of entry in front of all of these things that will make your life better when we're the richest country on the planet. And investing in the average American will make everyone's lives better. And so it's very silly that we're putting these artificial barriers up.
And you give 2 years of service, then you will have earned that and expand it so we have community college, job training. We need more mechanics, not MBAs.
Yes.
And that's where the Democrats' focus ought to be.
And everyone always makes this point that like, hey, you don't need to go to college, you can just go to trade school. And the people who make that point are being incredibly dishonest, because every free higher education plan that I've ever seen, like the one that Bernie Sanders proposed, his higher education, free college, his bill, also covered trade school. And every progressive is also like, yes, no, if we'll pay for trade school as well. And people go to debt from going to trade school. We should solve that problem as well. And every progressive agrees with that. And it's a made-up thing that progressives are just like, no, you just need to do book learning. You can't learn to work with your hands. Dar, 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 dar. So, in conclusion, Bill Maher is an elitist prick, and Joe Biden should forgive as much student debt as he can. It's a political layup. It would be political malpractice if he didn't do that. All right, subscribe, like the video, hit the bell. Bye.